What up, though? It's your boy Meech, aka the Sea Saint. Hope everyone's doing well. Time for another fragrance video, and this is going to be a July recap video where I break down the top 5 fragrances that I wore in the month of July. I'm stealing a little bit of thunder from my man BT Scents. I really enjoy his recap videos at the end of the month where he kind of ranks his best fragrances that he wore during the given month. And I'm like, man, I really like the way he does that. And, imitation is the greatest form of flattery. I'm not trying to steal any idea, but I think it's a cool concept. So I thought I would give it a shot. So we're going to talk about 5 of the best fragrances in my collection that I wore in the month of July. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so to give you guys a little bit of criteria on how I chose the 5 fragrances in this video, I thought about fragrances that I wore multiple times in the month. I also thought about occasions in which I wore the fragrances that maybe gave me great scent memories in the month. So that's kind of how I determined the top 5 fragrances that made this list. But coming in at number 5 is a fragrance that I wore a couple of times in the month of July. I know for sure I wore it on the 4th of July. I also wore it most recently. I spent the weekend in Chicago this past weekend, and I actually wore it while I was there. I wore it to a concert that I attended. Coming in at number 5, we got Greenwich Village by Bond number 9. And this is a fragrance that has slowly but surely been growing on me. When I initially got it, it was a unique scent profile, but I didn't think it was like anything special. But as I continue to wear it, I find that people compliment this fragrance a lot. It definitely grabs people's attention. It is sweet, it is fruity, somewhat musky. There's a lychee note in here that really stands out. A lot of people say this smells like Baccarat Rouge 540. I don't really get that a lot, but what I do understand is that the occasions and the settings in which you might wear a fragrance like Greenwich Village and a fragrance like Baccarat Rouge 540 are very similar. They kind of run in the same lane. So I do get the comparisons. This is a fragrance, again, slowly but surely kind of climbing up my list. It's definitely one that I want to wear if I'm trying to grab attention or wear for a nice night out or something like that. Definitely a great fragrance. Coming in at number 5 on my list, Greenwich Village by Bond number 9. All right, coming in at the number 4 spot is a fragrance that I absolutely love from a scent profile perspective. I wish that the performance on the fragrance was a little bit better, but I did wear this multiple times in the month of July, and I love the way it smells. So I felt like I had to include it on the list. I was waffling back and forth whether this would be number 5 and Greenwich Village would be number 4, but I do like the way this fragrance smells over Greenwich Village, so I gave it the number 4 spot, and that fragrance is Brioni Eau de Parfum Eclat. This is a very elegant, classy summertime fragrance. I attended a brunch while I was in Chicago, and I was in a floral white shirt, and this is the perfect fragrance for like brunch, day party vibes. Definitely gives you that vibe. Magnetic cap, you know I love that. But this is a citric, fresh, clean, musky fragrance. There is a rose note that gives this a nice touch that really stands out in the fragrance. Very elegant and classy. The only thing that I complain about, again, is the longevity. I get 3 to 4, maybe 5 hours if I'm lucky, but for the most part, I'm getting somewhere in that 3 to 4 hour range. When I wore this just this past Saturday to the brunch, it was gone 3 hours in. It was a very faint skin scent. So longevity isn't great, but it's a fantastic smelling scent, so I had to include it on the list. Coming in at number 4 for my favorite fragrances in July, Brioni Eau de Parfum Eclat. All right, coming in at number 3 spot is a fragrance that I have a sample of courtesy of Scent Split. I bought it myself. I don't get any kickbacks or anything like that. But this is a fantastic fragrance. I am a big fan of Mancera fragrances. Vetiver Sensual, I talk about it ad nauseum on this channel. I absolutely love that fragrance. Mancera, maybe. I love Cedrat Boise. Mancera is a very affordable niche fragrance house and maybe my favorite. And I got my hands on this sample. I wore it a couple of times in July and I absolutely love it. At the number 3 spot is Oud Lemon Mint by Mancera. And this is a beast, man. From a performance perspective, this goes. This lasts for a long time. No issues with longevity, unlike Brioni Eclat. This one will last a long time. I am learning that I am a big fan of the note of almond in fragrances because I have a couple other fragrances that feature an almond note that I really, really like a lot. Most recently, I got my hands on Guerlain's L'Homme Ideal Platine Privé, and that has a prominent almond note in it, and so does Oud Lemon Mint. There is the lemon, of course, there's an almond accord, there's mint in it, it's all in the name, and then there is a wearable oud in this fragrance as well. The longevity on this, I think the first time I wore this to my niece's open house, and I think I might have oversprayed it a bit because that mug was pushing. My daughter was like, whoa, your fragrance is strong, my boy. It was blasting off of my skin. So I know maybe the next couple of times I wear it to dial down the sprays a little bit, but this is a fantastic scent, absolutely full bottle worthy. I will definitely be getting a full bottle of this. Coming in at number 3, Oud Lemon Mint by Mancera. All right, coming in at the number 2 spot is a fragrance that, of the 5 fragrances that I'm talking about in this video, I've owned this fragrance the least and probably have already worn it like 3 to 4 times. One of the most popular fragrances that is being talked about in FragCom right now is Blue Talisman by Ex Nihilo. That is a niche fragrance that retails upwards of $200, $250. So that usually means I am looking for some type of inspired by or clone fragrance that maybe takes on that scent DNA, and I have found such a fragrance. Coming in at number 2, we are talking about Mystical Amulet of Blue by the Dua brand. This is their interpretation of Blue Talisman by Ex Nihilo. Now, full disclosure, I have not smelled the OG. I have never smelled the actual Blue Talisman, but as a standalone fragrance, this is really, really good. I've worn this fragrance. I've owned it maybe, 3 weeks, and I've probably already worn it a good 3 times already. It is fruity, it is musky, it has a sweetness to it as well, but not like sickeningly sweet, but there is a sweetness to this fragrance. There is a pear note in here combined with some other citruses that is just very, very nice. This smells really, really good, and it lasts a really long time. I know some people say with the Dua fragrances that you need to let them sit for a while, let them macerate a bit, and then you'll maybe get the performance and longevity. But this right off the bat has been a beast from a performance perspective. I coached in a basketball tournament, put this on early in the day. By later in the evening, I'm talking 8 hours later, this could still be smelled. So this has fantastic performance from that perspective. It's an extrait de parfum. Most Dua fragrances, I think all of their fragrances are extrait, so that always helps with performance. But this is a fantastic scent. If this smells anything like the OG is fantastic. I really, really like this fragrance. I'm going to have a review on this one on my page coming soon. Coming in at the number 2 spot, Mystical Amulet of Blue by the Dua brand. All right, and coming in at the number 1 spot is a fragrance that I rocked during my birthday weekend, and I don't know that I've ever worn a fragrance in one day and gotten so many compliments. I got multiple compliments wearing this fragrance on the particular day that I wore it during my birthday weekend. I was celebrating another year of life. I was feeling good, and the best fragrance that I wore in the month of July is Lamar by Kajal. This is a fantastic fragrance. It is a summertime evening banger. I definitely would say this is a fragrance that is definitely for evenings out in the summer. Of course, you can wear fragrances anytime you want, but there's just a sexiness and alluring appeal about this fragrance. There's some berries, some fruit, pineapple. There's a muskiness here to this fragrance as well. It just smells so nice. I remember my mom, who was visiting from out of town, giving me a hug, and she like, boy, you smell good. And I'm like, I appreciate it. And her friends and other people that were at the spot we were having a drink at were complimenting the way this fragrance smells. This is a fantastic niche fragrance that is pretty reasonably priced. 100 ml bottles on Joma Shop I've seen for the $120 to $130 range. So this is a great fragrance, decent pricing for a niche fragrance. This is one that I have to have. When this gets low, I'm going full bottle for sure. This is a banger. My best fragrance, my number 1 fragrance in the month of July, Lamar by Kajal. Well, there you have it, guys. The 5 best fragrances that I wore in the month of July. What were some of the bangers that you wore this month from your collection? Feel free to throw those in the comment section. I'd love to hear about them. Be sure to check out my social media for more. Please like and subscribe on whatever social media platform you're watching this on. That will be greatly appreciated. Once again, it's your boy Meech, aka the Sillage Saint. Until next time, take care. Peace.